Hey guys, it's time for session 3 of our Get Your Mind right? Getting into Position series that I've been doing. The first one we talked about your expectations. We talked about your mindset. The second thing we talked about was when we were talking about your experiences, about what you know to be true about your personal experience with Advocare and how that impacts your message. And this evening, what I want to talk to you about is your effectiveness. And when it comes to effectiveness, what I want to think about really is what deserves your best yes in any given moment. And I was thinking about it today. I was actually on the phone with one of our distributors, and we were talking about how you keep your business thriving, how you keep this thing alive as you move forward. And I was reminded, we talk a lot about how in this business we pour into people and we give people everything we have to help them be effective, to help them go from where they are to where they want to go. But you come to a season where people are just going to make the decision to or not to do what it is that is in their best interest based upon where they are in life. It may not be the season where that knowledge is the best thing for them. They may have that knowledge planted in them to use later, but we can so carry that. You ever get in that moment where you know that you've got what somebody needs and you keep trying to give it to them over and over again and you're chasing them around? You feel like you're pursuing them every week, week in and week out. And you're saying, hey, are you going to do this? Hey, are you going to do this? But for whatever reason, they're just not responding. And you wonder, am I effective? Am I doing something wrong? And the answer is no, you're not doing anything wrong, but you are a limited resource. And the fact is that in you're pursuing that one person over and over again for so long, trying to get them to do that one thing that you know would be a blessing to them, you may be running past person after person after person who would respond, but they're not getting the message. Let me say it to you this way. I think about Ed Kate. Think about the first responders who are a part of our team. When they show up on the scene of an accident, their immediate role is to assess that situation, to look around and see who they can help, who is beyond help. And I hate to say it that way, but there are going to be some cases where that's the situation. And if they take all of their energy and they focus on somebody because they have the greatest need but the least likelihood of success, then the person who might have made it is not going to get what they need. And so what I'm asking you today when we think about effectiveness, when we think about getting into position is, are we focusing on somebody who has great need, but their need is not matching up with their desire. Their need is not matching up with the right season for them to make the changes. Because your effectiveness is limited by the fact that you are one person. And you can say yes to one thing at a time, even though you wear 1,000 different hats. You're mom, you're a teacher, you're the room mom, you're the everything else that comes along with that. You're the dad, you're the breadwinner, you're all of these different things. But when you're the dad and you're being the breadwinner and you're at work and you're giving it your best, if you spend the entire time on the phone while you're at work talking about what's going on with the kids and you're not effective at work, you won't keep that job. Does that make sense? If you're at home and you want to be spending time with your kids, but the entire time you're spending time with your kids, you're looking at your phone and you're working, then you're not being effective as a parent, and your kids are going to look at you and say, seriously, put that thing down. Well, I'm going to say the same thing to you tonight. When it comes to Advocare, whether you're talking about pursuing a lifestyle change with your physical body, how you look, how you feel, how you perform, or you're talking about building a business, you've got to set some parameters. You've got to know what season you're in, and you've got to set your eyes on one thing and be effective in that moment. And if you're building a business, if you're wanting to build a business in the world of Advocare, setting your eyes on one thing that can move the ball down the field, it's recruiting. Why? Because you're getting fresh people coming in and fresh stories over and over again, and those fresh stories attract new stories. If you want to change something about your physical body, you have to set your sights on and be consistent and be effective in the use of the products that are going to help you in that thing. You can't one day fuel your body for weight loss and then the next day go and fuel your body to be on Jack Juice, and on the next day fast, and on the next day you're confusing the situation because you're not being effective in managing the ball that's in your hands. So think of it this way, taking it back to our getting into position, and I think about things I said with James Reich when we talked about this in the world of basketball. I can't be effective if I'm trying to be the center at the same time as I'm trying to be the point guard. If I'm trying to dribble the ball down court and I need to get the ball down low, but That's my role. I forgot. I was supposed to give the ball to this little cat over here because I'm the big tall fellow that's supposed to be down in the middle. What position is it you're trying to play? What position is it that you are best suited to play? And are you being effective by paying attention to the thing in front of you? It doesn't mean you can only be one thing, but you can only give one thing your best at a time. Your one yes in that moment, is it getting your best? Or are you divided? You may have heard it a million times. You know, an eagle can't chase two rabbits at the same time. It's got to just land. It's got to focus on one, right? What are you pursuing? You'll be effective when you set your sights on and you focus on achieving that one thing in a moment, right? Achieving one thing in a moment is not focusing on one person. It's focusing on the act of recruiting. So you're pursuing multiple people because that one person you've been pursuing may be waiting to see if anybody else is going to say yes. And if you don't offer the invitation to anyone else, then no one else is going to say yes. Does that make sense? Okay, so we have the expectations and the mindset. We've talked about your message and about your experience, and now it's about your effectiveness. It's about taking those things into the marketplace and showing people that not only do you have a great message, and not only do you have a renewed mind, but now you have an effective mode of operation. Are you effective today? That's my question. Hope you guys are well. Bye.